Good morning, my friends, my followers, my awesome subscribers. Thank you, and those that watch my videos. Thank you very much for continuing to support my channel. It means a lot. Well, today's Wednesday in the Colt household, and as my normal subscribers know, Wednesday's handover takeover day. So my son comes to my house this morning, and he will stay with me throughout the weekend. Then go back to his mum on Monday. Anyway, thanks for your messages and your emails. There's lots of you now writing into me. I did a short little video today on Instagram for about a minute, 2 minutes to explain what's going on. And here I'm going to give you my perception based on my not every single person in the UK is upset about what's going on, but for different reasons. Normally it's to do with migration, but many things have affected different people. And I'll give you my perspective. I left the military, or should I say I was leaving the military, and I applied for social housing. I went on the housing list, the housing register. And every Wednesday, those that know will tell you, they send you a list of houses and you can bid for them. Well, I kept getting them, kept bidding, kept getting turned down. And then one week I did bid for a house. And within a week, I got an email and a letter back to say that I had been successful. Mr. Colt, you've been successful. You were the only one that bid for this property. At that time, me, my wife, my son were elated. We're ready to move. We're organising things. We know we're going to get this house. It's something we went down and had a look at it. It was lovely. Then out of the blue, I received another email. No letter, an email, and I had the phone. Mr. Colt, on further investigation, we have noticed that you have no connection to the local area and that house is going to someone else. I was pissed off. I got on the phone and I says, how the hell am I meant to have a connection to any area? I've been in the military for 20 years. I've been travelling abroad. Anyway, it didn't matter. My house went to a Syrian family. That is a fact. I checked it out. Anyway, this is happening with families all up and down the country. UK citizens are now second-class citizens in the United Kingdom. We are seeing rioting up and down the country. And by the way, I'd like to point this out. Please do your own research. A third of UK citizens actually agree with the rioting. That's shocking, but they agree. 1 in 3 agree with the rioting. Now, I agree with protests. I do not agree with looting and damaging and destroying and hurting people. That's wrong. They are the scum of society. But the scum of society are stealing the message away from good people that are protesting. And that is, we have had enough. Did you know that this year, 2024, over 17,000 people have arrived on our shores and are being housed? They're being fed, they're being clothed. Their children are getting financial aid. They're having their heating paid for. At the same time, this new government has taken away winter fuel allowance for those that aren't on pension credits. This new government has decided to put a cap on families that only have 2 children for child benefit. But I can tell you now, people, families arriving on our shores have way more than 2 children and are getting benefits. It's shocking, isn't it? I'm also seeing this morning that the police have now arrested someone for posting things online. Now, listen, you can have a debate online, that's fine. But if you are going online and you're posting things like, we need to go and wreck this, we need to meet up here and do this, then you deserve to be arrested. You cannot incite hate, incite violence online. It's shocking and it is an arrestable offence. Hundreds of people have already been charged with rioting, and rightly so. Because rioting is different than protesting. Protesting is not a chargeable offence, rioting is. So why are they rioting? Why has Sir Keir Starmer now headed 2 or 3 Cobra meetings and all he's talking with his MPs is, how do we stop the rioting? What we're going to do? Harsh punishments on rioters. Not once have they sat around that table and discussed, why are they rioting? Let's fix the source. Let's fix why they're rioting and then they'll stop rioting. No, they haven't, have they? The Tory government messed us about for years and years and years. It was a tinderbox. We were nearly at tipping point. Good people voted Labour Party because he promised so much. I'll stop the boats. He promised so many different things and he let us down within a month. Not only did he not stop the boats, he cancelled the Rwanda plan. He cancelled all these things. He gave 70,000, he gave an amnesty to 70,000 people. We'll house you. Let's cut that off. Not only that, If you remember, during the Tory government, we took in thousands of Afghan men who were locally employed during the Operation Tariq in Afghanistan. We took them in because they helped us. We saved their lives. But now the Home Secretary, the new Home Secretary, has just said, you know what? We're now going to grant all your families access. You can now ask for all your families to come over. So by the way, that was 7,000 Afghan men, 2,500 interpreters. They all have more than 3-4 members in their household. And they're all about to arrive in the UK over the remaining part of this year. They're going to need housing. The 70,000 who got amnesty are going to need housing. The 21 to 30,000 new Afghans arriving are going to need housing. The 17,000 that arrived this year already are going to need housing. And yet we have around about 5,000 homeless veterans that can't get housing. We've over 100,000 people in the UK that are homeless that can't get housing. But we're not prioritising our citizens. We're taking away money from hard-earned pensioners who've worked all their lives, and now they're not entitled to a little bit of help in their latter years. It's shocking. Completely shocking. And to top it all off, what we are doing is we're going to stick in our prisons. We're charging people for rioting. We're charging people for protesting. We're doing it. People saying things online that don't go with the Gestapo at Downing Street. Putting people in prison. But there's not enough room in prison. So what are we doing? Oh yeah, we are releasing criminals to make room for rioters. Can we see the sense in that? We are releasing criminals. We are releasing terrible people to make room for people that are pissed off, that have rioted. And to finish off this little bit of a bitch right now, Keir Starmer has just decided, and I had to write this down, previous government had stated that criminals would not get on a housing register. Keir Starmer has now put all criminals on the housing register. He thinks they all should be housed. Who's in charge of the UK? Is it the devil? Certainly not someone that's putting the British people first, is it? No. So when you start to understand the reason behind why people are pissed off, you start to realise that our government has prioritised everyone who adds no value to our country over its UK citizens. Now, I could go on and talk about Katie Price. I could go on and talk about Andy Murray in the tennis competition. I could talk about the female boxer whose genetics are closer to a male. I could, but what's the point? What is the actual point? And who are the government blaming for all this? Tommy Robinson. I have seen a website called the 5 Pillars of Islam. I've looked at it. And I've seen who they've put on their list, who they're blaming for hatred. They're blaming Nigel Farage. They're blaming Tommy Robinson. They're blaming Darren Grimes. They're blaming Lawrence Fox. They're blaming Richard Tice. Wow. What they're not blaming is hate preachers. They're not blaming that. They're not blaming the deaths of children. They're not blaming the suicide bombs go off around London. They're not blaming the knife and machete attacks. They're not blaming the guy who went and attacked a soldier. Stabbed him. Remember him? Colonel Mark Teaton? Yeah, he seems to be forgot about, hasn't he? This has been going on for many, many years. It's now reached boiling point. And it's not to do with race or colour. It is to do with ignoring the British people and inviting people into our country that are potentially dangerous, with quite a few of them being on a watch list, which we can't even seem to find anyone with a bit of intelligence in the intelligence section, MI5 or MI6, to monitor them, because they keep losing them just before an atrocity takes place on innocent people. Where do we go, Leave your comments down below, guys and girls. I always look forward to reading the comments. Thanks for supporting my channel. If you didn't know, last night Matthew Morrison did a video on his beliefs where things are going wrong. It's available on his YouTube channel. Go and have a look. But thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for sticking with my channel. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day and stay safe.